Hi, Brian. Hi, Kevin, since we're just the ones on the call today, and welcome to the second week of our Evergreen Quiz Funnel Blueprint workshop. My name is Elvis Okenwa, and I'm the implementation specialist here at LeadQuizzes. And I'm really excited that you decided to join me on this workshop today. Now, I don't know if you've had a chance to go through the course lessons. I went check, but I think Kevin has gone through 10% of it and Brian hasn't started or something like that. I can't remember. But I understand that maybe because of time, we don't have time to, go through the course, and all of these reasons is an issue. So what I decided is on this workshop today, I'm going to take the first 15, 20 minutes, give you a quick rundown of what you're going to see on this course, creating your quiz funnel. That's when you go through the course. This is the second lesson. So on this lesson, I'm going to give you a rundown of what I basically spoke about. In case you don't have time to watch it, I will give you the quick rundown of what I spoke about. Then afterwards, since we're just going to be a few on the call, maybe 5, 6 of us, my goal is we go through each business and we to see how we can move forward. Because I know, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, you have an account already with LeadQuizzes, as well as Brian. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So quickly, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. So let's jump into the first topic, creating your quiz funnel. Right, let's go back. Now, the first is developing outcome and offers that converts. How can you develop outcomes and offers that converts? So you understand when you're creating your quiz, you have the quiz questions, you have the form field, then you have the results, which I'm calling outcomes and offers. Okay, so how can you develop outcome and offers that when your quiz takers fill in your form, they land on your outcome, it gets to, click whatever call to action you have in there, or they're very interested in the offer you have presented in there. So how can you create this outcome and offers that converts? Now, I'm going to show you a few qualities of what a great outcome should look like, first of all. All right, so a great outcome should be able to educate those currently looking for a solution to their problem. Okay, so bear in mind that the main reason why anyone takes your quiz in the first place is they hope to attain some measure of self-discovery upon completion of that quiz. Either they want to learn something about themselves, their situation, their business, their lifestyle, you name it. And the result page is the place where you educate them and show them that you're an expert in that subject matter. So we want to make sure that on that result page, you give them a good impression. First impression matters. So don't make the result a cliche or the outcome a cliche. Make sure that when they get to that page, it's informative, it's educative, it prefers a solution to their problem based on the quiz title. So that's the first one, educate those currently looking for solution to their problem. Now, the next is it has to be in line with your quiz title. So if you have a quiz title that says, for example, what is your metabolism type? Take this quiz to find out. The outcomes you create should relate to the metabolism types. So I'm hoping when I take that quiz at the end, I want to say what my metabolism type is. You don't want to confuse your audience. A different title than outcomes that don't correlate with the title. Now, the third is it has to be share worthy. If you watch the first lesson in the course Evergreen Quiz Funnel, we spoke about the psychology behind quizzes. And one of the psychologists was recognition and self-esteem. So when you're creating your results or outcome, you want to make sure it's educative, it's informative, it's interesting, it's personalized. Everyone want to share something that it's amazing with their social network. That's educative. That's, oh, wow, this result is very nice. This is speaking directly about me. They want to share it on their social network, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it. So make sure that the result is shareable. Then finally, you should have a call to action in your results page. You don't want to just have a result page with no call to action. Bear in mind the whole process is to create a funnel where you take them from the next one step to the other, to the other, to the other, till they get your products, till they become a customer, till they become whatever your goal is. So you want to make sure you have a call to action at each step. So at the result page, you just want to give them results with no call to action. It can be as simple as learn more. It can be learn more, claim your offer, learn more, schedule a free consultation, learn more, download your free ebook, your free workout guide, you name it. So there has to be a call to action on the outcome page. Okay. All right, now quickly, let's jump into so key components of a compelling offer. So we spoke about the outcome. Now let's talk about the offer. Okay. Now, a few key components of a compelling offer is that first, it has to have an attractive bonus. So when you're starting your business, for example, even if you don't have an offer, you're going to get those that are early adopters, we call them, and they're ready to buy your products on the go. But the goal is to attract more people, colder traffic into your sales funnel, and you get blockers like, I've never heard of your business, so why should I buy from you? I'm uneducated about your products. I don't know who you are. I don't understand the value you're offering, which is why you need a compelling offer to overcome those barriers. So using an attractive offer, you get people excited. Oh, there's a bonus, there's an offer. Let me see what he has to offer. We have a few examples on LeadQuizzes, which I'm sure you've all seen in our case studies. So we have, for example, let me go back to Anna Maria. So we have Anna Maria's Skincare. Now, they offered for anyone that completed the quiz and opted in. They were offered simple skincare kits for $10 with free shipping, a free ebook, $10 coupon towards the next purchase. And with this offer, she was able to generate about 200,000, because if you can see, there's a risk reversal, money back guarantee, $10 purchase, $10 discount on your next purchase, which is an attractive bonus, a free ebook. So all this attracted people to want to opt in, and get the product, and she was able to make $200,000 via this offers. All right, now I have another one in here from Gotrider. So after, let me 1 second, Gotrider, yes, this one. So Gotrider. So after quiz takers opted in, they were taken to various offers, a free shipping, discounted product purchase. The sales process was able to convert 3%. So out of 75,800 leads they generated, they converted 3%. So if you look at 3% of that, that's about 2,200 people multiplied by how much they were selling their product. That amounts to a lot of money. Okay, just by having a compelling offer on the result page or on your landing page. Okay, now finally, LeadQuizzes, which is the last one I'm going to show today. Now we have a free trial, we have money back guarantee, we have let's see, 30 days free trial, money back guarantee when you sign up for a free trial. So I include it. Okay. All right, so attractive offer bonus is the first offer. The second component is risk reversal, which I already spoke about. So risk reversal, just like how LeadQuizzes does it, free trial, money back guarantee. So in this situation, that, even if I opt in and pay $49, if I'm not satisfied with the product, I can get my money back within 30 days. And I also get a free trial. So that way you are taking away that objection from the user or the customer or the buyer with regards to, how do I know your product will satisfy my needs? In this case, try it. If it doesn't, I give you back your money. So that's very important. And the last one is urgency and scarcity. So if there's a way for you to add some form of urgency and scarcity in your quiz result page, for example, this offer lasts for the next 24 hours, next 2 days, you can add a countdown timer. That way you're able to, create that urgency and scarcity and move to perform an action by clicking CTA to make a purchase and so on. All right, so those are some of the components of a compelling offer: urgency and scarcity, risk reversal, and the bonus itself. All right, I'm just trying to bump through this because in the course, you're going to see more examples. So this is like a quick rundown. Now let's look at some tips on how you can write engaging quiz questions. Yes, that is one I would like to show you. How can you write engaging quiz questions? So I'll show you how you can write engaging outcomes, how you can write engaging offers. Now, how can you write engaging quiz questions? Now, when you're writing your quiz questions, there are a couple of things you need to pay attention to. The first one is the number of questions you have in your quiz. So one of the factors that can make or break your quiz success is how many questions you have in there. Now, although quizzes are very fun to do, the average quiz taker won't have more than, let's say, a few minutes to complete your quiz. So always have that in mind. So if you're creating, for example, a trivia quiz, you can have 10 to 20 questions. But if you're creating a personality-based quiz, or, let me go back 1 second. If you're creating a personality-based quiz, we also always advise you have between 8 to 12 questions. 8 so they're not bored of taking your quiz, and 12 so you have enough information to give them, a detailed result. Okay. The next is pay attention to the content of the question. Okay, so keep your question on topic. Whenever possible, try to make your question witty, humorous. All right. Then make your questions interesting. You don't want to make your question boring. So for example, if I had a question, what is the one item you cannot go without every day? That's the question. Or if you were in a stranded island, which of these would you take? Now that's the same question, but it's in different formats. One is witty and humorous and more interesting. One is plain. So try to make your questions as interesting as possible. That way your audience understand that you're an expert in your field. You're also smart. You're also intelligent. You're also fun. Okay. Now, finally, don't try to be too smart when creating your quizzes. Now, what that means, don't try to trick your audience. Don't try to trick them with your quiz questions. Don't try to trick them with your quiz answers. Try to be on point, because if you try to trick them, eventually they're playing a losing game, and they'll spend a lot of time racking their brain around the questions rather than enjoying your quiz. And the chance of them dropping out is now higher rather than them completing your quiz. So good quiz questions are those that hit the sweet spot between where they're neither too hard or too easy. Okay. Now the next one is pay attention to the question length. Now majority of quiz takers that are doing great on LeadQuizzes, one thing they have in common is that all their quizzes are short. All their quiz questions are short. You don't want your audience to spend a lot of time going through the quiz questions. Try to make them as short as possible. Okay. So if you can try to use question answers like rarely, sometimes, never, always, frequently, true, false, that's better, because that gives them momentum. Okay, the next question is this way. So and in 30 seconds, they're done taking your quiz and there'll be less drop off. Okay. The fourth is pay attention to the type of language. The kind of language you use for your quiz question depends on a lot of factors. Who's your target audience? How much you know about them? How much do they know about the quiz subject matter? What effects are you trying to produce? Ultimately, one piece of advice for you is spare your words. Spare your words. Don't use complicated terms that your audience won't be able to understand. Make the quiz as simple to understand as possible. Okay. Now remember, the goal is to make the quiz taker complete your quiz, not to make them think you're smart. So even if dumb it down so they can all understand. Don't try to use big grammar or and that way they'll spend so much time trying to understand what exactly you're trying to say on the quiz question rather than just complete the quiz and enjoy it. Then finally, try to use quiz questions that have image answers. There's a saying that picture is worth 1,000 words. In the case of quizzes, pictures can make a huge difference to your completion rate. So if you're able to have quiz questions that you can use images for, try to do that. All right, so those are 5 tips I have for you that you can use to write engaging quiz questions. All right, now let's quickly see. Now, lastly, before we jump out of this, let's quickly, okay, we already all know how you can add your quiz on LeadQuizzes. So the number of quiz questions, we went through this one, question content, question length. I already explained all of this. So the last thing I have here is setting up your quiz on LeadQuizzes, which we already, I know Brian and Kevin on this call know how to set up their quizzes on LeadQuizzes. But in any case, in the video, we have step-by-step guide on how you can do that. So I won't need to go through this. Okay, any questions, Brian, Kevin, regarding this course or presentation? Or something you want to go over?
No, not so far.
So, okay, great. All right, so I guess the time we're all waiting for. Let's delve. Let me stop this 1 second. So Brian, let's start with Brian. I don't know, Brian, did you get to see the note I left for you in the community? I understood you said you're a freelance agency business and you would like to learn how to use quizzes as part of a lead gen, and you would like to do this in conjunction with ads, funnels, and emails, correct, Brian? I don't think Brian can talk to us. All right, let's start with you, Kevin. So with Kevin, I know you said you're building a course called Quit Smoking in 21 Days and Never Go Back. And you plan to discuss a membership site and personalized support, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so do we have this course ready right now? Do you have it ready?
No.
Okay, but even before the course is ready, we can create, for example, a quiz to tease people, to tease your audience. Then when the course is ready, then you can create a quiz to offer the course to them.
Right.
I know I already gave you a couple of quiz ideas. Are you ready to quit smoking in 21 days? Take this quiz to find out. You can create an ultimate quit smoking challenge. You can create a quiz titled, "Can you beat nicotine addiction?" Quit smoking for good, myths or facts. Take this quiz to find out. So for each of those topics I gave to you via the platform, you can write quiz questions and answers and outcomes. But then we don't have a course to sell yet. But that way we can start getting people onto your email list.
Yeah.
Before the course is out. Okay.
All right.
So let's see, Kevin. Sorry, let me just stop sharing for 1 second. Let's go to LeadQuizzes. Kevin, if I go to your LeadQuizzes account, do you have anything currently created? Any quiz?
That is true.
My question was, do you have any quiz created at the moment on LeadQuizzes?
No. No, I'm working on creating the quiz on my local machine.
Okay.
Working out the questions and the answers and the results pages and whatnot.
Right, Kevin, I'm going to give you a very quick tip. Let me share my screen with you now. Something that came out recently. So share screen. There you go. Now, Kevin, have you heard of this platform called ChatGPT?
Yeah, you mentioned it last time, and I spent like a week trying to get on there. Every time I went, they would said, "We're too busy, go away and come back later." And then I finally did get on, and they wanted me to sign up, and they asked for my email, and that was okay. And they gave me, then I made up a password, and that was okay. And then they wanted my phone number, and I was like, you know what? That's too much. It's too much. After I give them the phone number, then what? Because there's no, there wasn't any warning that, once you put your password in, then we're going to make you give us your phone number. So I was like, all right, so now I give them my phone number, then what? They want my social security number, they want my address, what are they going to ask for to have this free account, And I thought, it's just not worth it to me.
You could sign up via your Google account if you have one.
Yeah.
All right, but for example, I just grabbed one of the topics. Are you ready to quit smoking in 21 days? And I said, create a quiz titled, "Are you ready to quit smoking in 21 days?" with question, answers, and results. And it creates, and bear in mind, the more information you give in here, the better modifies the quiz questions are. So if you can say, for example, quit smoking in 21 days, you're targeting people in so place, you want this to be for those under the age of this, it's going to refine this search for you. So with this, you can quickly and effectively create a quiz, modify it, and then you have it on your platform without having to pay anyone to write the question and answers for you. Because I've taken the time to test this, Kevin, and the question answers that it gives are actually in line with whatever you put in here. It's
Yeah.
actually well detailed. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, a couple of those questions are questions that I have in my quiz.
Yeah, you see how I've been
You know,
smart.
so I mean, that's pretty impressive.
All right. So what? So okay. So what I'll advise, Kevin, is if you can sign up for the platform, that way you don't have to pay anyone. Quickly create a quiz since you don't have your course ready. We don't have nothing to sell right now, but we can at the same time start getting people into your email list.
Okay, so let me ask you now, how do we get people into my email list? I mean, do
Okay.
they put their email in before they take the quiz, after they take the quiz?
No. Okay. Let me do that. Let me show you this. So LeadQuizzes. So how LeadQuizzes works is they see the quiz questions, they answer them.
Right.
Then they see the form. You add a form field, for example, fill in your information to get your results.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got
They
you.
put in their name, email address, then they get their result based on the answers they gave in the quiz questions that you gave. And we have a function where you can automatically pass this leads to your CRM.
Yep.
And that way you can start nurturing them, even before your course comes out, because bear in mind, the goal is to build trust.
Right.
Even if they don't buy the first time, once you keep nurturing them, they trust you. They know, okay, this particular email coming from this particular business is always on. One of the days when you propose your course or your business or offer, that we jump on it. So we can start that. We can create a quiz, have it linked to your email marketing platform, and even if you don't want to spend money right now on ads, you can use your Facebook page. If you have a Facebook page, you can join Facebook groups. They're talking about similar topics, how to quit smoking. There are so many groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, talking about that topic. You join those groups and you can have your quiz in there.
Okay.
So I'll show you how, I don't know. What's your email address, Kevin, for your account on LeadQuizzes?
Let me see. It's Kevin Foster, all one together, KEVINFOSTER at Fuse. It's like what you light a bomb with, .net. That's it.
We have nothing going yet, okay? All right. But Kevin, we have a website. Do you have a website?
I have the domain, but I don't have the website built.
The website built, okay. So right now we can do all this via social media. If you have a Facebook page, do you have a Facebook page?
Not yet.
Yeah, but you can easily create one,
Yeah, true.
Create a page, you can join those Facebook groups I was talking about. Because when you create a quiz on our platform, what happens is, for example, I'll show you just an example. Let's use any of this. So when you create a quiz, you publish it, we generate a URL for this quiz. Now, using this URL, you can go to Facebook, LinkedIn, and simply by pasting this URL, we're going to pull in the quiz cover page image, title, and description and use as a post for you. So that way you can join those groups I'm talking about and just post this URL for your quiz, and it's going to pull in the quiz cover page image, the quiz title, and description.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's that straightforward. And when you have your website ready, we can add that in there. We can have it embedded, have a pop-up going, have an announcement bar going. So, but for now, I would say rather than just waiting to have the website ready and to have, your course ready, you can simply jump onto GPT-3, create a quiz, modify it. It's straightforward. Change the question, change the answer options, and then the form field and the results you want to have.
Right, so maybe this is beyond what you want to cover here, but let's say I have a series of questions. Let's say I come up with 10 questions, right?
Okay.
Each of the questions has 4 or 5 possible answers. And I want to rank them based on, like the first is worth the least and the last is worth the most.
Okay.
And, if I get a certain number, let's say, the first is worth 1 and, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, right?
Okay.
So if somebody scores 10, that means they answered the first answer in every question, right?
Yes.
And I want to send them to a particular results page
Okay.
because I think, they're not ready for this yet. They're not ready to quit because they answered the wrong way. How do I do that? I mean, is there a way to say, if you get this
There is
set of answers, or do you have to go with maybe,
so
if there's a
we
total
have,
result?
yes, a total.
Okay.
So we have a scoring feature functionality. Let's see, just 1 second. All right, let's create from new. Let me do it from scratch. Create new. So let's say, for example, want to create, let's use this quiz we have in here. Are you ready to put smoke in 21 days? Now we have the outcome logic and the scoring logic on LeadQuizzes. Okay, the scoring logic, you can assign weights to the individual question answers, similar to what you said. So I can say if you answered sometimes you have a weight of 1. If you answer always, you have a weight of 4, and so on. So it's going to show scoring logic. Okay, so you add a cover page, for example, say quiz. Now let's say this is a text question. I'm just going to use this question. Question 1, how often do you currently smoke? That's the question. So the answer options. Less than a day. All right, more than 5 days, for example. Now you can see right here we have scores.
Right.
You assign the weight that you want each of these questions to have. All right, so I can see, for example, the answers they have 5, they have 10, they have 15, for example, they have 20. Let's save it. All right, now by the time you've done that for, let's say, 5 questions, and the highest weight is 20, that means you know that if everyone answers the correct way as possible, they're going to get a total weight of 100. Now for the results, you assign ranges. So in here, I can say all those that get between 20 to 40, they get this result.
Okay. Yeah.
And so on. So this can be, I don't know.
All right. That's pretty self-explanatory now.
So yeah, it's
So what is? Can you describe the other one now? The
outcome logic.
Outcome logic. Yeah.
Yes. So the outcome logic similar to what you have in here. The outcome logic is you give the correlation between the question answers and the result. So for example, question 1, if you click in here that says question mapping, if the answer yes, it best correlates with, let's say your skin score is 37. And you can assign this correlation by simply dragging and dropping it. And you can assign multiple correlation. So for this question, if the answer option A, this result is going to have a weight of 1.
Okay.
Right? You can't assign a particular weights. This all happens the weight of 1. Okay. Now, by the time they've done that for all the results, the system is going to check which of these 3 results has the most weight based on the answers they gave and the correlation you did. And that result be pulled out for the quiz taker. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I'll have to look at that and see what the best idea is, because I did a quiz kind of like this before, and I actually had I think I had 5 questions and 4 possible answers for each, and I ended up with like 20 results pages, because actually I ended up with more than that, because I calculated, okay, if they answered true for all of them, they got this one. If they got true for the first 4 but false for the last one, then they got that one. If they got true, 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 false, false, you know.
Okay, I understand. But
So there were really very specific results. You know,
yes. Yeah.
it's like, you said this, and that means that indicates this, and then you said that for this other question, which indicates this other thing. So all in all, I think, you know, you're here. You know.
Bear in mind, Kevin, the goal is you want to segment your audience.
Right.
And put them into different groups.
Right.
Okay,
right.
and to do that is based on set different parameters. So when you give them individual like results, how do you segment them? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we always advise you create those segments, which are these results we have in here, and that way you can target all those that score 39. This is what I'm going to target them with. All those that score this, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
Okay. All right. Before we move on to Brian, can you hear us? I don't know if Brian can. I can't hear Brian. Hello, Brian.
Oddly enough, I can hear Brian coughing once in a while. So I'm not sure what's going on.
All right. So before I move on to Brian, Kevin, do you have any other questions? So Kevin, the goal is this, because I know we've jumped on a lot of calls. So I'm going to send you my link right now. What's going to happen is, if you can put a time in the next 2 weeks where we're going to jump in to review the quiz you have created and what you've done so far. You know, because I know maybe sometimes we forget and so on, but yeah, that way we have something on the calendar. And using this chat GPT, you can create as many quizzes as possible. You saw it's quite easy, copy and paste, modify the questions and have it there. And then you can test from there, you know. So here is my calendar link. I'll send it in a second. But do you have any other questions, Kevin, or something you want to go over?
Not right this moment, no. Last time we talked, you said go back and look at the first video again, and I did, and it's much better than the first time I looked at it, because you know, the first time I saw it is like, you started off by saying, well, we already talked about the psychology of quizzes. I'm like, when? When did we talk about this? You know, but you know, it was a much better, much more complete presentation the second time I went and watched it.
All right. Okay. All right, Kevin. So I'm going to send over the URL, but I don't know, Brian, I'd have loved us to delve into Brian's case in case you have any recommendations for him.
Okay.
But in any case, Brian I know he can hear me, but maybe his speaker is not working, but he says he's a freelancer and he would like to understand how to use quizzes as part of a lead gen process in conjunction with ads and creative funnels and emails. So freelance agency business, you know, and I told Brian that he can create different kinds of quizzes for this. What type of freelance service do you need? You know, how to choose the right freelance agency for your business. Take this quiz to find out. Are you ready to hire a freelancer designer? Take this quiz to find out. No. Find your perfect freelancer, write a match. So he can create different quizzes, and using ChatGPT, similar to what I showed you, Kevin, he can do this quicker, modify the questions, and have something going in there. But in any case, what I will do, since Brian can't hear me, and this, I'm just going to drop a link to my calendar. All right, and that way we can schedule individual calls to delve a bit deeper.
Oh man.
And Kevin, where are you based?
Oh, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati.
I answered, but I muted myself out.
So it's
Where are you?
L in the
Where are
morning.
you, Elvis?
Belgrade, Serbia.
You're in Serbia. That's interesting.
Have you been?
No, I've not been to Europe at all.
Oh, okay. You should.
I should.
You
I'll
should
come
plan
by and
this.
say hi.
Huh?
I'll come by and say hi. When I get to Belgrade.
Oh, definitely.
Nice.
All right. So here's my link URL. But Brian, Kevin, the goal for this is, if we can schedule a call for the next couple of weeks, and that way when we jump in, we can review what you've done. So, what I expect is that you've already created your quizzes, you've had it in there, you've created your quiz results, and that way we can just do like an optimization, and I can show you how to drive traffic to those. So we move faster, yeah. Okay, so here's the link to my calendar. Put a paste it right now, chats. Did you get it, Brian and Kevin? Please, if you can pick a time. Usually for US times on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, I have a lot of free time till evening. So you can pick those days to jump on a call.
Okay. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, you say? Oh, fuck.
All right, then, Kevin, if there are no other questions, because that'll be all for today. And Brian as well, but please keep it short.
Yeah, I think I'm all set.
All right. All right, Kevin, have a great rest of the day.
All right, you too, Elvis. Thank you.
All right, cheers, bye.
Bye-bye.
And Brian, can you please just send a note in the chat to confirm that you saw the link? And that way we can stop the recording and jump off the call.